With tools like Webflow, the possibilities are endless when it comes to web design. You can literally build anything. And I've seen some websites built in Webflow that absolutely blow my mind. But I've also seen a lot of websites that are very much overdone, and while they might look fancy and impressive, they're not very effective at generating traffic, leads, or sales. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the difference between very complex web design and simplistic web design, while also sharing with you what works, what doesn't, and what's going to piss off your site visitors. So let's get into it. All right, so as I was putting together this video, I scoured the web in search for websites that were overdone, and I didn't have to look too far. In fact, the first place that I searched was awards.com, and I literally found two perfect examples in the homepage of awards.com. And this very quickly told me that in the world of web design, there is a huge misconception and a lot of confusion between websites that actually work to generate traffic and leads and grow a business or a brand versus websites that are going to get you nominated on websites like awards.com. And don't get me wrong, I love awards.com. I think it's awesome. I'm on here all the time looking through websites, looking for inspiration, but there are a lot of ways that you can overdo a website. And so what I want to do is dive into the first example. So this is the first website that I found, and the first thing that you're going to see is it is very impressive and almost overwhelming. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of different things going on, spinning images, different links. It's wild, and I can't even fathom the amount of work and custom code that went into building something like this. But it's almost just frustrating because as I'm scrolling, things are moving left and right and wiggling around. And then I get down to this section, all of a sudden the scrolling gets really slow and choppy, and it's almost unusable. It's frustrating, right? And then the text goes from left to right to all of a sudden these images are popping up, and I don't know if these are links. And I continue to scroll down, and I've got this big wiggly circle that's following me. And you can see that it gets really overwhelming really quickly. And so yes, this is something that's going to get nominated on awards.com. And you can see over here, in fact, that they are a nominee. But websites like this are going to frustrate your customers. They're going to frustrate your traffic. Now, if I click up here in the menu is actually pretty clean. This is the cleanest part of the website. It's simple, black and white, very clear links. And this is really the only thing about this site that I could find that I felt like, hey, this could actually work. And so when you're building your website, why would you want to put in 10 times the amount of work and effort and budget into a website that's just going to be overdone? Now, the second example that I want to share with you is here. And this website does a lot of things that frustrate me as a website user. The first thing, which is something that I would always recommend you stay away from, is text that is not only too big for the screen, but too big for the word that you're trying to spell out. They weren't even able, I assume that this is supposed to be December, right? But the text is so massive that it just overwhelms you. I feel like I want to click the zoom out button on my keyboard because it's just too big. It's too in your face. And the thing that's difficult about this is if you know anything about user behavior, you would know that you lose about 50% of your traffic immediately. And I think it's less than 20% actually scroll past the viewport. And so what I'm showing you here is this is all they're going to see, Decem, and then down here there's a little bit of text, but people are going to have no idea what this website is about. And as I scroll down, there's one scroll, two scroll, three scroll before I even get to their product to know what it is that they're selling. And so by the time people see this drink, it's already like you've already lost 80% of your site visitors, and it is a horrible way to build your website and spend so much money on these incredible pictures and images and animations when nobody's even going to see them. So as I scroll down, you're going to see that everything really takes up too much space, and it should have been zoomed out. I don't like the idea that you have to scroll 3 times to get to the next product. All these products should be probably in 3 columns across, so by scrolling once you can see at least 6 different products, right? That's going to be much more effective. So as I continue to scroll down, we're going to get rid of that massive text, and here's some more massive text, not quite so overwhelming, but this is the other part that frustrates me is these images all have kind of a nice animation to them, like a scroll animation where they all move at different rates. But the thing that's frustrating is you almost can't get an image all the way in the viewport before it starts leaving the viewport, right? So if I want to see this image over on the right, I've got to be very, very careful about stopping scrolling at the exact right time so I can see the entire image as a whole. And so you can see how it's too big, it's too bold, it's too overwhelming. And while these types of things might look good and might get you on awards.com, they're not going to sell anything. And so now we are, 20 scrolls down, and we're finally seeing 3 columns of drinks. This is the cleanest part of their website, and this is something that they should have done right at the start, right at the top of their homepage. But again, I think that too much went into trying to impress other designers versus actually trying to sell drinks. So with that said, what I want to do now is I want to dive into a couple more simplistic site designs, okay? Because we've seen these that are very complex, the types of websites that are frankly just going to piss off your site visitors. And so what I want to do is share with you a couple websites that we've built recently. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn or say that the websites that we built are always the best option or the best, simplistic designs, but it is something that we try to go after and recommend to our clients when we build websites is we don't need to overdo it, because number one, it's going to get way more expensive for you, and number two, the site's not going to perform as well as it could. So the first site that I want to jump into is ventour.co. This is a health insurance website, and it's one that I'm really thrilled about because there's a lot of movement in it, as well as you can see over here on the right, but it's very simplistic. It's easy to understand. Right away, I'm able to get so much information in the initial viewport. I've got my heading, I've got my subheading, I've got calls to action, I've got a bunch of images showing happy people that obviously are insured by Ventour. And so already we have conveyed much more information without them even having to scroll than any of the other websites. Now as you scroll down, we've got, again, very simplistic outlines, structure, 4 columns, clear headings, clear subheadings, clear buttons, right? And as we continue to go down, we've got icons telling us exactly what each of these points are about. We've got big, clear images that don't have movement to them, or at least not too much movement to where it's overwhelming. And we're able to convey so much more of our story and our purpose by keeping the site simple. The next one that I want to share with you is h1.co, and I'll scroll here to the top. Again, very clean, a lot of white space. We didn't overdo it with color, smaller text, strong headlines, an image showing them exactly what it is that H1 does. And as we continue to scroll down, you can see that we've tried to keep our images very clear, very minimal movement. You can see as you scroll, things are going to kind of come in towards the H1 logo. But again, it feels clean, it feels new, it feels updated, but it's not going to overwhelm anybody, and they're going to know exactly what it is that they're looking at, and they're going to know what happens as they continue to scroll. They're going to find more information with clear, clean graphics that are easy to understand. The calls to action are a bright color that stand out. We've color-coded the individual sections, and also as you come up here in the nav, you're going to see how everything is separated into a different color and by a different icon. And as we continue to scroll down, we've got clean logos and then a very clear form that is, again, easy to find, easy to fill out. And this, again, is a website that's performing really well, and it's going to drive a lot of leads for this company. Now, the last one that I want to show is not quite so safe in terms of design. Not as much white space. You can see that we've used a lot more color, more graphics, but still we've kept things very simple and easy to understand. And really the best thing that I think we did with this is used as minimal text as possible while also getting across our message. And working with Worth Insurance was a dream because they knew exactly what they wanted. They had incredible content, incredible graphics, and we just had to bring their vision to life. And so as we scroll down, again, there's a little bit of movement, but not much. We've got a clear outline of the different carriers showing their logos. We've got a tab that switches between personal and commercial, so we don't use up too much space by showing those logos. And then as we go down, we're using very clear icons to distinguish between the different types of insurance. Again, very simple, not overdone. We drop down into the features that are separated by clear headings and clear subheadings, switching colors of our background to kind of distinguish the different sections, going into our process, again using icons, and then we've got, again, a little bit of scroll movement. It's very clear that these are reviews, and you can see that even with the scroll in this, I get immediate response as I scroll up and down. I'm not scrolling and then waiting 2 seconds for an animation to happen, but things are immediate. I'm getting immediate feedback as a site visitor. And as we continue to scroll down, very simple FAQ with some drop downs. We've got our free quote and then the footer. So again, by keeping things simple, we're able to accomplish so much more. All right, so what can we learn from all of this? First off, if you are a business owner that is looking to get a new website built for your business, you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it, because number one, you're going to pay way more than you need to. And number two, even though your website might end up looking really fancy, it's not going to help accomplish your business goals. And so you need to be careful about what it is that you're looking for when hiring a freelancer or a web designer. Now, if you are a freelancer or a web designer, what you need to remember after all this is we don't do this just to win awards. And if that is your only goal and your only focus, you might get featured on awards.com, but you're probably never going to get great results for your clients. That should be your biggest focus, is the outcome that you're getting for your clients. And a lot of times that might mean doing more simplistic websites that maybe don't look as fancy or have as much movement in them, but they're definitely going to get the job done for your client. So thanks so much for watching. Now, if you are a business owner that's looking to get a new website built, feel free to click the link below and you can actually schedule a free strategy call with me. We'll hop on Zoom, talk about your business goals, talk about pricing, timeline, everything that you need to know before you make that step into building your website. If you're a freelancer or a web designer and you're interested in more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel, and we will catch you in the next video.